Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head to England once again. This time we are going to go to Somerset and we're going to try a beer from the Wild Beer Company. This is the first one I'm ever trying from these guys. They have been around quite a long time, but I've just never got around to trying one of them before. So this one is called the Millionaire. It's described as being a salted caramel, chocolate and milk stout. It comes in at 4.7% ABV and it should be quite nice. It's got a 94 overall on Rate Beer, so really looking forward to this one. I do enjoy my sweet stouts, of course, so it's always cool to try new breweries from different places, and to be honest, I don't know the reason why I've not tried one of these beers before. It's probably because I wasn't into sour beers initially, and that was what this brewery kind of specialised in, but they seem to be experimenting with a few different things lately. But as I say, cool to try new beers from different places, and I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one. This one, of course, was one that came through the small partiers here in Sweden through Systembolaget. So yeah, but anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from the Wild Beer Company. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, like I said. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the English beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. And if you are particularly interested in English beer, do make sure you check out my friend Craig over at Kent Beer Reviews, Dean at Dean's Beer Reviews, there's Harry at Blue Nose Beer Reviews. There's a lot of guys reviewing beers in England who can keep you more up to date with the English beer scene than I can. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Wild Beer Company then. So Wild Beer Company are based in Shepton Mallet in Somerset, which is a little bit to the north of Bristol if I'm not mistaken. And they were founded by Andrew Cooper and Brett Ellis back in 2013. So Andrew had actually spent a number of years running pubs, and he was trying to get beers, like craft beers and things, into the pubs that he was running, and he later also worked for the Bristol Beer Factory while Brett had worked as a chef in California, and he homebrewed as a hobby. He brought a home brewing kit while he was waiting for his work visa to come through and started experimenting with the hobby while he was doing that. So they did have a good bit of homebrewing background to them when they started this up, but they later decided to start up their own brewery in England when they noticed that Belgian wild beers, kind of sour beers and things like that, hadn't been brewed in England before. So this, of course, is why the brewery is called the Wild Beer Company, because it was wild beers, or wild ales, sour beers, that they started specialising in. So in 2017, this year of course, they successfully crowdfunded to build a new brewery. They raised about £1.5 million, and this new brewery will be based in the Bath and West Showground. It will have a tap room, a restaurant, some conference rooms, and they'll also have a space that they can grow their own produce like vegetables and hops and things like that, you know, for use in the kitchen and use it in the beer and stuff. They also have two bars as well. This is the Jessup House and also the Wapping Wharf as well, and they've got a good range of beers. If you go on the brewery website, you'll see all the different things that they do. They are quite a prolific brewery, and they're easily recognisable with the kind of the sort of deer type thing that you'll see on at the front of their beers. I do like the artwork that they put on them. They all tend to have a very similar style of artwork, just a slightly different head, I think, and some of them are different colours and stuff like that. I don't know if some of the series have different colours, but they are a prolific brewery and they've got a lot of different things. But I've heard very good things about these guys. Like I said, my very first time at trying one of their beers. So yeah, that's enough about the brewery. If you want to learn more, like I say, check out the brewery website in the description below, and of course you can check out the English guys who review beer, and I'm sure they've reviewed quite a few of these beers actually. So yeah, just to read a little bit on the back here, the Wild Beer Company, we believe exceptional brewing stems from imagination and passion. It's not just a process, never average. Every wild brew is the result of wild minds conceiving, creating and crafting beers to explore the boundaries of your palate. Brewing doesn't need to be confined by rules, tradition or ingredients. By adding a wild fifth ingredient or process to our beers, we want to give you a truly memorable drinking experience, altering your perceptions and thrilling your taste buds. So yeah, a little bit of marketing stuff there as well. And this one tells you a little bit about this beer itself. So sometimes a drink can make you feel so decadent it's like you're a millionaire. This beer wraps you up in a velvety cocoon, dresses you in a smart suit and takes you out for a special night on the tiles. Sweet and salty collide in this rich, balanced and smooth dessert stout. Lactose, caramel and high quality Varhona cocoa nibs provide a chocolate and caramel sweet backbone alongside roasted malts, which Cornish sea salt gives a savoury, salty salty kick, resulting in this beautiful beer above the norm. Salted caramel must be the dessert of the decade, and this beer yields the perfect blend of sea salt and caramel in a full-bodied chocolatey stout. So yeah, nice little description there. I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork on this one before we open up. There you can see the sort of deer thing that I was talking about. It's the symbol of the Wild Beer Company. Of course, on the back you can see the blurb that I've just read out to you. I'm just watching my remote control. I can control this camera with my phone, which is quite awesome, so that's what I'm doing just now. But you can see the nice deer head on the bottle cap there as well. 4.7% ABV, and like I said, it has a 94 rating overall on Rate Beer. And you can find Wild Beer Company on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well, by the way. It tells you that on the bottle. So yeah, let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting then. So yeah, nice smoky opening to this one. You can smell the chocolate and the caramel coming out of this beer as you open it up. A really nice kind of chocolate caramel stout that I had recently. I think it was the Caramel Fudge Stout it was called, from Brouwerij Keys, and that was really like some of these Omnipollo stouts that are going around just now. So I'm really interested to see how this one comes across. As I've mentioned many a time in my beer reviews, I'm not the greatest fan of English traditional beer, but the English craft breweries are doing some really, really nice stuff. I have to admit, the standard of English craft beer is really, really good actually. So yeah, as you would expect from this beer, it's poured a nice dark sort of ebony rosewood colour. If I kind of just take it up to the light, I can see there's a little bit of a sort of rubiness to it. There is a bit of a ruby edge. There's a kind of half finger of a frothy beigey tan head on this one. Some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of the head there, but it looks very, very nice. But yeah, exactly as you'd expect from a kind of caramel or sweet stout if you like, but you can smell some of these nice chocolatey and caramel notes coming out of this one as you move it around. But let's have a closer look at the aroma and see how we get on. It actually smells, when you go in closer to it, it smells a lot more roasty. There's a lot of roasty kind of black malt coming out of this one. Not quite coffee, it doesn't quite have the same smoothness or kind of sweetness that you can get from coffee beans. It's definitely a roasty black malt I'm getting out of this one. There's a good bit of toasted brown sugar in there. It's got some of the treacle molasses sort of thing going on. There's a bit of a brown bready character as well, and you can definitely pick up some of the earthy hops. They've probably used like Fugels or East Kent Goldings or one of these English hops, and I always find English hops are really good in dark beers. I'm not such a great fan of them in lighter beers, of course, but in dark beers, they're really, really good. But yeah, I think there is definitely some English hop in there. Just that earthy note you get out of this one reminds me of some of these things like Kent Goldings and Fugels and all of these different things. But it's definitely, that's the most prominent component of the aroma, is that nice kind of roasty black malt and also the earthy hop in there. You get a little bit of the chocolate on top of it, the chocolatey sweetness. There is a bit of kind of toasted brown sugar. I'm not quite getting the sweet caramel, but like I said, when you open up the bottle you get some of that nice sweet chocolatey and kind of richer caramel thing going on. But it's really nice. The aroma on this one's quite simple, but not quite as sweet as I was expecting from it. So yeah, let's get stuck into this one then. So this one is the Millionaire, the chocolate, salted caramel and milk stout from Wild Beer Company near Bristol, and well, in Somerset in England I should say. Let's get stuck in. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's a really nice beer. As I've said before, I love these kind of sweet sort of chocolate stout things. That's probably why I love the Omnipollo, the big beast beers that they do so much, and the Brouwerij Case one as well was really good, but this one is really nice, but it's a lot easier drinking than those other ones are. But that said, some of these bigger ones mat the alcohol very well. This is a slightly more kind of sessionable version. That's probably the plus point about this beer. It is a lower alcohol version that you can have a few of. It's such an easy drinking beer, this one. And of course, it's not often that you'll session a stout, of course. For me, like the dark beers, like the porters and the stouts, I always just have one of, because it's a kind of more richly and more richly flavoured and kind of complex beer that you just want to enjoy the taste of. But this one is really nice. I would love to try this on tap, or even on the sort of the cask beers, the keg beers, and see how this one kind of comes across. With the cask beers, with the pool casks, it would be really nice just with an even smoother mouthfeel than it has already. But this one goes together really well, and in contrast with the aroma, it's a lot sweeter than you would think. but that's really nice. So there is a little bit of bready character to this one, but really it's the kind of, it's got that lactosey feel to it, that kind of milky lactosey feel is what dominates the palate in this one. You've got a lovely milky sweet chocolate there kind of going right around the middle of your tongue. There's some sweet caramel right in the middle of your palate. There's maybe a teeny bit of biscuit, but the brown sugars in this one aren't too roasted. It's definitely lying more towards the sweet side of things. It's the lactose and the kind of sweet milky chocolate that's dominating the palate for me. There is a little bit of that kind of caramel thing. I'm not getting too much of the salty character from this one though, right enough. There is a little bit of it. You can feel it just towards the front of the palate there, but overall it really is more of the, to me it's more chocolatey and more milky than anything. As I said, there's a little bit of the brown sugar, but the kind of salted sort of caramel thing, I'm not getting too much of that, but you can pick up some of the brown sugars right in the middle of your palate. But I mean, the main thing is, it's a really, if it's a good beer or not, and it certainly is, it ticks all the boxes for me, and it's really easily drinkable as well. 4.7%, you know, this is a good beer. So the plus point I would say about this one is if you like, pardon me, if you like the things like the Omnipollo beers, like Anagram, and all these big kind of sweet stouts, the plus point about this beer is that it's a lower alcohol alternative, so bear that in mind when you try this. On the hoppy side of things, it's got a little bit of earthy character. The hops are very smooth. There's just a bit of earthiness on the sides of your palate, and you can feel it's coming forward. It's very light and not very much from the hops at all around the front corners or the very front curve of your tongue. There's maybe a tiny little bit of a red fruity ester from this one as well, but that's very minimal. Yeah. If you just go behind the front curve of your palate, as I always say, you get that little oily bubble where the fruity esters come out. And there's just a little bit of a sort of candied red fruit thing. It always reminds me of these nice kind of Haribo Star Mix sweets that you get. And it just has that sort of very light kind of candied red fruit ester to it, but that's very minimal. The flavour is dominated by the lactose and the chocolate, and there's a little bit of that earthiness there, just kind of underpinning it. And there's a little bit, as you move further and further into the aftertaste, you get a little bit of that kind of roasted black malt coming out as well, but overall it's a very smooth and very kind of easy drinking beer, this one. It's really nice, and like I say, the plus point to this one is that it's a bit of a lower alcohol alternative to some of the Omnipollo things and stuff like that, but it's a very good beer. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this one again, and on the basis of that, I'd love to try some of the other things from Wild Beer Company. And since I've been getting more and more into sour beers and wild ales recently, I need to try some of their sort of flagship beers in that kind of style. But yeah, really good beer. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I would say it's kind of mid-bodied actually. The carbonation on this one is very light. You could almost drink this beer and think it's like a cask ale actually, it's that smooth. It's got a big creamy mouthfeel. There's a little bit of oiliness to it, but mainly it's creamy. The malt base is very sweet on this one, really milky and creamy like I said. There's a little bit of dryness from the hops, but overall they are quite smooth, and there's just a little bit of a kind of red, fruity, juicy ester coming out of this. But overall, this is a really good beer. I'm glad that I got to review my first one for you from Wild Beer Company, and on the basis of this one, I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again, and I'd be very excited to try some of the other stuff that they do. So hopefully we get some more of the wild beers over here in the fairly near future. So I'll keep an eye out for them in the small parties or when I go over to Copenhagen. So yeah, if you get the chance to try the Millionaire from Wild Beer Company, I recommend that you do, particularly if you like these kind of big sweet Omnipollo stouts and things like that. A really good beer, this one. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Check out all the social media, but let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Wild Beer Company as well, and hopefully I can review some of those for you over the next little while. But like I say, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon. Been really cool to review my first beer from Wild Beer Company, and this one was really a cracker. I've really enjoyed this one. So until the next time, slanted just now, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Cheers.